everyone, it's the 13th September. I'm going to do a few jobs in the garden because I had a couple of days without any rain. I fully intended on doing this 10 days ago, well 9 days ago, because the last video I did a bit of filming from was the 3rd of September, which is down the allotment, which may have been uploaded already. But you know, things got in the way, so I've had a gig and rehearsals and stuff like that, because our drummer in the band, he's left now, but because he moved to Manchester, so we knew it was coming soon. So we're trying to get another drummer sorted out and that. So it's been pretty hectic. So I'm very, very shattered. So I thought I pulled some carrots last week one evening just to see what they were like. So I'm going to pull the rest of the big carrots today because I need them, because I need to get this sauce all made up. Same with some celery, probably some peppers as well, because just keep thinning the peppers out a bit, really. I pulled a load off already, you know, they're massive. Good year pepper wise, so I'll have a quick look around the garden and we'll pull some more carrots, pick some celery. I've planted some lettuce out, still got loads left over, so I might end up putting some up at the plot, to be honest. I don't know. We shall see what energy levels like. But obviously I've got, you won't be able to see behind me, I've got these 4 polypots that I put in quite late. I think it's about end of May, June, something like that. Just tucked behind the strawberries. I had some Orla potatoes in. I put 1 seed potato in each. So I kind of neglected them a bit, really, just watered them as and when I could remember. But we'll obviously I'm sort of like, mainly for next year's seed potato, really. But I mean, if they're decent enough, I'll use them, you know. But no idea what they'll be like. I give one a little bit of a pull. They have rooted through the polypots into the ground, which always helps because they can get any nutrients from the ground. So I've got some loads of seedlings on here. I've just pulled them out from under the table because just to get a bit of wind, because they are getting a bit leggy. Give them water. It's my own compost, and it is tricky to get them out of the seed modules, to be honest, like pulling the plants out. So I've just not packed them down enough originally, but we'll deal with that. But well, have a look around with the camera, see what we're up to, and then pull some carrots, some potatoes, some celery, and pepper or 2, and then I've got loads of little jobs to get on with now because there's more beans to harvest. I mean, definitely doing that next year. If you can see it, the little arch thing. I'm going to actually, instead of using canes, we get some of the like aluminium plastic coated poles. You can get them like 8-footers. So and obviously with big thanks to all the viewers that have donated, you know, there's enough funds to get a pack of 10 of them. So that's much appreciated. Like I say, anything that's donated to the channel goes right back into the channel. It just enables me to do things and make things a little bit easier. You may have seen an upload or a picture regarding you know, some more products have been donated by Scrivens Landscape Supplies. So they deliver nationwide. So this time they're giving me some bark chippings and some wood chips. So they're going to be very handy, you know, for mulching, and also, you know, because you can use them as a compost later on as well. You know, you could sieve the real fine particles through and put them into your compost if it's a bit too green. You know, it'll all bulk it up. Plants don't really mind. So, but yeah, if you want to donate to the channel in any way, support the channel, link in description below, as is for the, you know, to actually look at Scrivens products. You know, there'll be a discount code as well. Because Jack, who runs Scrivens, he gave me a code I can use, and so if any of you want to use it, you know, I don't get anything from it, but you get 10% off. So we shall get started and see what we get done. Right, in polytunnel, a lot of tomatoes still to ripen in here. Need some picking as well. Bit neglected in here, you know, because I've not really done much this last sort of week. So I came in and splashed a bit of water. These Apache plants at the bottom down here were completely wilted before, but they're great plants. You know, you give them a bit of water and they soon plump back up again. So I need to strip a load more foliage off here. A lot of my onions fell on the floor the other day. These are the Kelsey onions, which will be going into sauces, so I've just hung them there for now so they don't get wet. The rest are actually just tucked under that sheet. Let's say that contraption was laying flat on the deck. It was just a temporary thing to help dry them out, to keep them going. I don't know where you can see, but down that corner there, that's the pile of bark chippings, all bagged up, and the rest of the wood chips are all stacked under here. So it was a bit of a last minute thing, you know, to you know, to have them kindly, you know, donate 50 bags of each, and then I thought, right, I'm going to make some room for them. So that's all dealt with. So there's no rush with that. You know, I can do that on the shutdown. As I'm shutting things down, I can get things prepped and that. Still need to string my onions. I might do a bit of that at the end of this video, show you how to knock a string up. There's loads in there, so they are well and truly ready for stringing. A little fella out, Kane. Put this tarpaulin in the other day because it was warm enough, but it kept raining. I thought it's not fair in being stuck inside, so yeah, he had to wander around when it was dry, and then when it was wet, he went underneath this sheet. So I just sort of linked it to the fence and keeps the rain off him. It's a little temporary knock up. Everything's kind of as it was, really, you know. Sage, some seedlings there, they're probably just all going compost heap them. Some spring onions here. I need to pull a lot of spring onions out. They've got a bit big from what I like, but I've got a family that'll have some, so I'll probably, because I need the bed, you know, I'm going to plant lettuce and that, so there's a lot of spring onions there. It's my own fault, I've just sort of thought, not been bothered to come down and pull it up and harvest some. We've got a little cat down there peeping at me, I don't know if you can see. Don't mind them, but can't be doing when they keep laying the brown eggs everywhere. Right, so peppers. First time I've had this now for about a week. Plenty of peppers. So they're massive, you know, and I might get some. You can see a hint of red starting down there. Oh, plenty of these little red admiral butterflies keep laying out and spreading their wings. That's all the lettuce there. Absolutely loads, but obviously Kane's going to need a load to eat. Celery's looking a bit sick, but it's just because it's ready. You know, there's absolutely stacks of celery there, so I'll be chopping and freezing. Dwarf French beans down here. Actually, I mean, they're great little plants. You know, you just end up with little clusters of beans on them. You keep going until the frost kills them. Some raspberries to pick over there, the polka. In here we've got a cucumber plant that keeps deciding sort of like to keel over, then perk back up. So I've not removed it. You know, you get a random late season cucumber, then so be it. But it's been a poor year for cucumbers. I've actually done better with one in a pot just outside the front door, to be honest. Obviously, there's been some damage on the beans. Something came out the other night and just chewed through the stems. Great big slugs. So they got dispatched of. But the jalapenos are still ticking along. I've harvested quite a few of them, pickled some and frozen some. So I'll just keep picking them until they give up. But I need to pull them. They're the last two sort of Durham earlies. I'm going to rip them out, take what I can off them, which obviously Kane will eat, and if there's any small hearts, I'll eat them. I get all these spring onions out because they're going to start forming some sort of rust probably soon. I can see the odd orange looking fleck, and obviously my leeks are out there, so I don't even want to look at them in case, you know, I mean, they are tiny leeks at the moment, but it is kind of that time of year where rust is here. But Brussels sprouts, I need to take a bit more foliage off them really, but they're starting to swell up now, thank God, because they were looking a bit pathetic. But obviously, if it's feeding a lot of foliage that you don't need, then that's what it's going to do. So remove some of the foliage in the tops. I think there's 2 tops left. I've been eating the tops. The tops are absolutely lovely as a cabbage. So I'll take some more foliage off and they'll just plump up. You know, you're going to get frost probably. Well, might get frost in about 6 weeks. I'll just leave them be. And if they start to go a bit, you know, a bit funny, I'll pick them off and freeze them. So we'll start with pulling some of these big carrots. There's nothing else to really look at down the garden, to be honest. It's all a bit sad because, you know, it's the end is very soon. So I won't bother doing the sweet candle. I might pull a couple, but I mean they're not massive. But like I say, that's a box of surprises. You get the odd big one, and then the odd one's multi-legged. I've had so far. Well, I pulled 3, and one was split right down it. The other one was all right. The other one had about 5 legs on it. So it's a gamble. We shall have a look and a laugh. Right, there's obviously going to be some in here that haven't got very big because I had problems with seeds at the start, you know, odd snail nipping off. So there's one that's tiny at the back here. I'll pull this one because it'd be absolutely pathetic, you know, being out there. It's just not a chance to get through the light, you see, there's nothing there. So forget that one. They did pull out a little bit easier, but it was quite dry when I did it. So obviously we've had a deluge of water since. because we had some localised flooding the other day, to be honest. So it's kind of take your pick, go for a corner. This one's got a nice thick top on it, so it'll either have sometimes you get them massive around the top and there'll be nothing, you know. Sometimes you get nice, you get the odd really nice one. Sorry, Mr. Spidey, you'll have to find another place to reside. Yeah, live amongst the cucamelons. Right, so I've got these little bits of downspout. The varieties are red intermediate, wood lice, which are a nightmare for this sort of thing, to be honest. I need to get some like powder next year. If I do the big carrots, I've done them every year for a few years now. I might actually have a year off doing these because they just get used for sauces, really. That's all. So I've a feel down the top there. Can't feel any splits around that side. Can't feel any splits around that side. Feels nice around the top. And usually, if you try and pull it by the top, it just won't come. You know, I'll have a go. Well, see if I can get it moving. It is moving usually, you see. They won't move. Usually, they've got a good grab. You know, so it's not my biggest, but get a bit hairy when they, you know, had a good dry spell. They seem to just put like this hair out to you know, it's probably a good, you know, it's a good probably. If you measured it right to the tip, you're probably like nearly 3 foot. That. No sign of root fly on it. Not that I'm bothered anyway. As I say, it just goes all this will go into sauces, you know. Like I say, I don't do any shows or exhibitions because the ones that are local to me tend to be like quite early in the year. I'm thinking, God, I've got nothing ready yet. I've had a massive polytunnel, and yeah. But we'll pull a few more of these. It won't bore you pulling them all. Go for this one here. Not as big round the top. Oh. Couldn't quite easy that. Nice looking carrot from the top. You know, it's still nice. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's still well over 2 foot. Butterflies, plenty of them out. The one with the big top on here, full of wood lice. What's that one like? There's a big split down this one. Feel a split on it. It's a shame. You can still use it, you know. Yeah, that's what happens when you get a dry spell and you get a big deluge of water. It splits. It's not gone all the way down. It's only gone to there. But other than that, you know, it's a nice looking carrot. You know, it's not a matching pair, but so there's a little bit of forking going on down at the bottom end here. It couldn't make its mind up what it wanted to do. But nonetheless, doesn't go to waste. The big top here. This one got splitting. Can't feel any splits around that. I need to actually dig all this sand out and leave it out at some point to let some, you know, birds come down and peck the insects out. I had like loads of these little tiny, like digger wasps in this year. Oof. Pulled that with a bit of aggression then. Same again. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just snap the tip off it, but never mind. Good size. They're not the best tasting carrot. If you've got a good tasting carrot, it's sweet candle all the way, but your sweet candle, they do get about 14 inch, you know, some sweet candle, but they are probably the nicest candle. Many of them other ones that are grown this year, small ones, you've not really seen much of them, but I think they're called fingerlings. Never done them before, and yeah, they're nice. Oh, this one's got a few things coming off the side of it here, might be a funky one. It's got a horrible split down it. Now that you could use, but I'm probably not going to, yeah, because you can see right into the middle of it, you know, and there's a little maggot on it there, so root flies got at that one as well. Probably when it split, the smell came out, and there was a few root fly passing by. I mean, I could probably, you know, clean it and take some peelings off it, and Kane will have the peelings like. Old tortoise will eat anything you throw in front of it. You know, but they're pretty similar to like what I pulled out already, these, to be honest. So I pulled 3 out. There's another one here with a bit of pathetic top, so this won't be any. Look at that. If you had a box full of them, you'd be absolutely miffed. It does happen. Well, while we're at it, there's only 3 more to pull. I might as well pull these. Another one here. That's just down to not having any light, bit of root fly damage at the top here. They're not supposed to be able to get above 1 metre high. But I don't know. I think if given the right conditions, they can waller around and climb up and that, they'll get up. The tiny one that's been blocked. I think it's just because of the lack of light in this corner. These ones need to get up first. You know, but it tends to be snails and slugs hide down this little gap here and they come up and nip the tops off. Well, last one. Has he got a split? Nope, feels nice around the top. Yeah, that's a nice carrot. So, you know, nothing wrong with them. Got a little splitting one, but you know, I mean, them 4, you know, they're fairly identical. Apart from that one's lost its tip. So they're the 4 biggest. The other one I've got down the garden's the same sort of size. You know, and then we've got a few smaller ones as well. All gets used up. So I'll deal with them later on. I'm hoping if it rains will wash them off for me. And then that's going to be tonight's job, I think, chopping it all up and making the sauce. If I can remember, I'll put a link in the description below on how I make the sauce. Because, you know, I make an absolute ton of it. You know, usually it's all kind of timed a bit better than this, but it's usually done by now. But I always end up waiting for either these or the giant onions. So we'll pull some pepper and some celery and have a look at that. So, this celery's the variety is called Blush, and the idea is it's self-blanching. If you don't have a self-blanching variety, the old-fashioned way was you grow it in trenches, and you kind of hill it up like potatoes as it grows, and that keeps the actual stem, you know, nice and sort of blanched to that whitey colour. Doesn't really matter, you know. It does require a bit of water, otherwise it can get quite stringy. So this will be quite stringy, but I don't mind because I'm just using it for cooking mainly. You do get the odd time where it's quite string-free on the rare occasion, so I'm going to sort of tuck in somewhere, not right in the middle, but probably second row in. If I can find my way in there. Make sure there's no residents down here. You know, they're not going to be massive because it's not a massive sort of variety. You know, there's some like Victoria and things like that can be quite big. As you can say, I mean, nothing wrong with that at all. You can use the leaves if you want, but all I'm going to do, because I've got stacks of it, just twist it off. Just tart it up a bit at the ends. Get myself another one as well, I think, for now. Have a look at that. Go from somewhere else, over here a bit. Find my way down. A bit bigger. Get rid of some of these little things. I mean, you can cut it just above ground, you know, here, and it'll you know, you could just keep pulling the out ones off and it'll keep shooting. You know, it does work a bit like a cut and come again, you know, because you can kind of use dry it as a herb if you want. That is good for you. You know, some people don't like it, but I mean, it's a bit big to twist off this, so I'll try it. Won't do my wrists any good, like. So a couple of nice celery there. So I pulled quite a few of these, chop them and freeze them. You know, because I could do with this bed, because I could put a net over it, I could put some late season lettuce in it, but obviously I've got to let things in for the beans, so it's a bit of a silly idea putting the beans there, but it was a gap that needed filling. So a couple of celery, you know, so there's plenty more. I think there's 20 here to pull. So it's quite easy to grow if you plant it in a block formation like this. You know, I think they've probably got about 9 inches apart in all directions. So it's fairly close, but it's nice if you get them that sort of size, to be honest. You can handle them, you know, because you can't get many of them in a fridge. You don't have to pick it all, just keep coming and taking what you want off it, you know, but predominantly I grow it for sauces or like a soup mix. I'll get a couple of bell peppers now, I think. Right, so this variety is giant bell pepper. It's my own saved seed from last year, which I'll do again this year, you know, because I think if you can save your own seed, it gets used to your growing environment, so I think it just adapts over generations and does better, you know, possibly. For me, I find it does anyway, so, yeah, we'll pull a couple. You know, because some have got holes in, you know, that's the thing, once you get an hole in, something gets in there, and you can still use it, but it can cause problems. A couple where there's a big one on the floor there, I didn't pick that, it's starting to rot off. I'll get one of these weird shape. Yeah, bugger it, I'll pull this big thing off, it's starting to go a pinky colour, well, a reddy colour should I say. I don't know if there's been some sort of accidental cross or something like that, but it's different shape. As far as I know, I think we're all taken from the same pepper, these seeds, to be honest, so I can't remember. You know, fantastic size. I think, all in all, I reckon I'll get probably about 50 or 60 of these peppers. You know, it's a 12-foot row, 12 foot by, I think it's 2 foot. I just sort of try it with this polythene over. Quite cheap to build, you know, polythene's about 20 quid. And some bits of pipe I already had. I just kind of knocked up this makeshift little mini polytunnel to keep water in pots if they can have some stuff in the ground. Well, this will be an interesting one for you. Try and get it in my hand. This is called an armoured beetle or a stink bug. I don't know if you can see that, but they're a nuisance. Never used to have them. Last sort of 4 years they've appeared. And you know, if you crush them, it stinks. But they're called an armoured beetle. But yeah, or a shield beetle. Yeah, stink bug. So we'll just give that a bit of a flicking. Get rid of that. So that's another pest to deal with. Obviously, there's spiders here. I'll leave them be. But yeah, they've had a bit of a hammering, so I just need to deal with some of these sort of like little caterpillar issues, because they have been a nuisance. But I've got a crop, you know, so can't grumble at that. It's done all right. You know, with peppers that size, definitely more than happy. So freezers, I haven't got much room now in the freezer, to be honest, and I've got to go down the allotment. I've got all that broccoli to go. Collie will be in about another month. So it's going to be what we want for tea tonight. A big plate of broccoli or something. Peppers. Right, so we'll tip them all out now. I'm not going to bother filming clearing up the garden. So I'm going to pull all them spring onions out, probably today or tomorrow. Keep a few bunches here, and then I give a few bunches to family and friends and that. And then it clears that bed up. I can get that planted up. Pull them durum early greens out. I've got some more, so I might put some more Durham Earlies in there. It's just for cane, that really. This is it. I've got to try and grow what I can to keep the cost down for feeding cane. So if I can grow for him and feed him free for 9 months of the year, it's a big difference. Because if you had to buy like 2 lettuce and a cabbage and courgettes every day, it soon mounts up. Because he's like a bloody goat in a shell. Just eats and eats and eats. He could probably have these celery leaves, but you can't give him anything that's bad or brown. It's poisonous from giving them sort of off, or semi-rotten vegetables. So, right, we'll go on up to these all out now and see if there's anything worthwhile in them. It's always interesting, because obviously the pots I did this year were absolutely horrendous and really poor, just down to the dry spell and me not watering. So it's kind of like possibly just put them in the ground next year. So, right, we'll have a look at them. Oh, it's got the old wheelbarrow, set of scales, bag. All my buckets are full of tools and clutter and stuff. I really do need to have a good sort out. I'm really not on it this year. Obviously, I've got a bit of an excuse for that, being absolutely knackered. So, just try and get to these canes. I've just laid these canes on the other day because there's squirrels and cats will be leaving the little presents, whether it's nuts or turds. Grab this one first because it's easiest. Yeah, it's rooted in a bit. Oh. You can see a potato at the top there, that's a bonus. So these are just Orla. It was a bit of a mixture of my own compost, spent compost, and I had a little bit left in some bags, so it's the right mix. I think I've just put a bit of bloodfish and bone meal in. It's about 20-25 litres per bag. So we shall see. One there. Not bone dry. There's a rotten one there. There's a rotten one. Yeah, got quite a lot of rot this year. It's just, it's just where it's so wet. Yeah, there's a few that are rotten. It's just where it's at the bottom where it's got really wet. See why I didn't bother getting a great big bag because I'm not feeling that optimistic. Like I say, some sort of this sort of size, you can save them sweet seed potatoes for next year. I've got some that are sprouted in a pot there, and they're called Wilgia, they are. They're just some I'd got in a sack early on in the year just to fill the gap, and hung some in a pot and they didn't sprout, and then they decided, one of them decided to sprout, so I'll leave it be. Might be a bit of a bonus sort of crop for nearer Christmas. Right, let's get another one. Oh. One. It's a bit better. Well, I can see so far anyway. Nice and clean, no scab. And no slug holes. That one's rotten. That one's rotten. There's a plant. Because they did have blight. I'll have to go and grab me the wheelbarrow, to be honest, because I don't think I'm going to get another 2 bagfuls in here. Shove this out the way and grab me the wheelbarrow. Fight my way through a lot of spider webs. Every time I walk into Polytunnel, it was a big web wrapped around my head. Oh, I'm knackered. Right, let's grab these other ones. Webs everywhere. Oh, mate. Mare's tail down here and all. New pest. Gotta watch that, you see. Especially if I'm spreading this compost anyway. If there's any root nodules gone in there or anything like that. But well, it's one of them things, isn't it? Flea beetle there. And they were around quite late this year, to be honest. Another one that doesn't look so great. Oh, spud there. There isn't many, but they're cracking size. These make absolutely great roast potatoes and chips, these, I found. So yeah, it would be, I've said it before, if there's one potato I could grow, it would be Orla. It's just so universal. Not that many people grow it, to be honest. You know, because you can grow it as a first early as well. So if you just wanted to choose one, just grow some Orla and start harvesting them from probably 12 weeks or something like that. You know, I'll just leave more chits on them. Last bag, there's not loads here, but like I say, it's not been a great year for spuds in pots. It was alright in the ground, apart from a load rotting off. That one looks a bit drier, it's fallen to pieces. Yeah, not too bad. Little tiny worms. They're not eelworms, they're just obviously normal worms. Just eat the decayed stuff, which you don't mind. There's a sea potato. Or a couple of rotten ones. So it's a shame that one, it's got this dark pattern on it. You can see if you squeeze that, probably squirt in your face. Like I say, it's my own compost, a bit of spent, a bit of stuff that was left over in bags from doing the compost challenge, all sort of mixed together. And I had some 4 sea potatoes. You know, so it's not a loss, you know, it's a gain. It's not cost me anything. Polypots, the last few years I already had them. So, there'll be loads of weight here, but obviously some of them are a decent sized potato. And they're supposed to be 20 litres, them polypots. If you fill them right to the brim at the start, you've got to realise you need to obviously allow for a bit of expansion with spuds. Yeah, it's a shame, there's probably over a pound of spuds there that I've lost. You know, there's about 6 at this sort of size here. A shame. Never mind. Can't have everything do well every year. So this year for me it's been peppers and onions. Well, quite a few things to be honest, have done alright. What have we got there? 8.5 pound. It's over £2 per potato. It's not great for a main cropper. You know, I mean, usually, you know, if you do them in a 30 litre pot on a good year, if you put 2 spuds in one of them, you can get it up to £10, which is kind of £5 a spud. So, you know, they're just over sort of half what you can get, but that's having good compost, good conditions, you know, ample feed and ample water. You need to get all those factors right, And the only thing that you can't have a role in is the environment, which is the weather. So I'll leave all this junk here and then clean my hands up, and I'll just show you how to string some of these onions. There are different ways, it's just the way I tend to do it. And I've done it for the last sort of, God knows how many years. You don't have to string them, you can just put them in somewhere where it's kind of airy, so you can keep a check on them. Don't want to be out in the cold, like damp sheds and garages in the winter, because it can make them sort of sprout and go funny. I just hang them in the attic, to be honest. Not at the moment because it's too warm, but as it cools down, I just put them in the attic. They're in the dark. That's how I stored them last year. Didn't bother them at all. Right, so we'll do a bit of stringing. Right, I'll try and show you quickly how we do a string of onions like this. There's 16 on here. Just kind of an even number, keeps it sort of stacked well. So jute twine I'm using. The variety is called Santero, all grown from seed. So we'll just try and show you quickly as possible how to. I've got the same amount of onions, 16 in a bowl there ready. Ideally you want to try and kind of size them so they're a similar size, or the biggest ones go at the bottom. Usually you get the nicest ones, people will just twist the nicest one off first, but I just go to whatever's nearest to hand. So 3-ply jute twine. You can use a 2-ply, just don't string as many, because obviously there's quite a bit of weight. So get yourself plenty of twine, longer than what your string's going to be. Now worse than it running short. I like to double it over at the end to make a little sort of carry handle. So it's looped over there. I've got this end here with the 2 ends on it. I'm hoping you can sort of see this. I'm just going to grab them 2 and just tie a knot, a little overhand knot like that. Just pull it tight. So you basically end up with a big loop. Pull your string off. Grab an onion. So obviously you want these necks as thin as possible. Sometimes like this is quite a thick neck on it, to be honest, but they're well dried anyway. So that's where your string's going to go. So your first one, you're going to basically get your loop like that, and get this knot end and poke that through it. Pull it tight until it sort of grabs around that neck of the onion. And make sure you give it a good old tug so it just bites into it a bit. Well, not cuts into it, it's just to trap it so it'll look like that. That's your first onion. That's how you start the string. Do your garlic exactly the same. Garlic is a little bit more tricky because there's less weight in it, you know, because it does move around a bit with the weight. I don't know whether you can see if you can. I'll be stringing it up here and sliding them down anyway. Umpteen different ways of doing this. I just find this way works well for me. So you've got your loop, you get your onion, put it through the loop. So your neck's going in between the strings, and then you're going to take it round both of them and then back underneath the gap there. So make sure you got your fold on it there. So it's round both strings over the top of the onion, and then underneath there. Just untwist this bottom bit and then slide that down. Give it a bit of a push like that. So this thing here isn't built specially for stringing onions. If you look back at me 2020 videos when the horrid COVID was around, I had a little garden buddy, which was a little jackdaw. Found him as a chick outside the front door, and poor little thing, you know, all on his own. So I reared him up, had him for 3 months. I had him, followed me everywhere, absolutely adorable little thing. And until one day he just vanished. So jackdaws come every day. They know who I am. They just think, they see me, they think food. Sometimes they're cheeky, they land on the roof and they start chirping until I bring some food out. But I don't mind. It's a nice thing. It's a nice memory, you know, especially with it being on video as well on YouTube to see it actually happening. Just one of them sort of things that you never forget. Same again. Just keep doing that. It is sort of like if you see a gap, fill the gap. You know, sometimes they'll stack in doubles, sometimes in triples. It just depends how they want to sit. Sometimes they go a bit cockeyed. Sometimes they're nice and even. It all depends on this bottom, how this bottom sits. If you get 3, it's going to be a 3. Sometimes it ends up just in 2s. Like I say, just round both, underneath, underneath a lot, slide it down, find a little gap for it, tuck it in. And once you get the hang of it, it doesn't take long. It doesn't have to be supremely neat or anything like that. It's just a way of storing them. Keeps them hung, keeps them nice and airflow. You can keep a check on them, see if anything's going a bit nasty. But you don't have to do it. You obviously can just leave them like this and just put them in a vented tray or a big sack, you know, it's fine. It's just a nice reminder when you've got it dotted all around your kitchen and that. I mean, I store these in my attic because it's I just don't have any problems that way. You know, I can just go up and pull a couple of strings down as and when I need them. It is obviously if you've got all nice uniform sizes, the string's going to be all nice and uniform. But I'm just grabbing them out of this bowl willy-nilly and not really paying much attention to size. I'm just looking for a gap of where to slot them till they kind of build up. I mean, you're probably not seeing all the string, you're probably only seeing about half of it. But, it's just, I don't know, it's just nice to see, you know, you string of garlic and that, and then you string of onions in the kitchen, freezer's full. And you can sit back and through the winter and think, you know, start thinking about the following year, and you've got food's plentiful because you've done your work, and you can sit there and enjoy it for a bit and do the thinking part for the year after. One more onion. So I mean, there's 16 on here. It doesn't take long once you get the knack of it. Could have done with another one there really, but yeah, stuff it. I'll go and get another one, so I'll have 17 on this one. There's somewhere to fill that gap there, so you do have to keep twisting it around to get it on, because otherwise they do trap when you try and slide them down. You just slide that down, simple as that. That's once you've got them, you're kind of happy with how you've strung them and that, so it doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't matter. It's only you going to be looking at it, and nobody's going to judge you. You know, if it was your profession, then it'd be different, but it's not. We're all sort of amateur gardeners, just growing our stuff, and it just kind of looks nice. I'm just going to get another piece of the jute twine, just wrap it around a couple of times, 3 times like that, tie a knot, like that, another one, just slide that down, and that just keeps everything sort of pinned. It's not essential, that bit. And obviously there's a long bit here, and if you've got enough, I would double that over to put it down the floor because it's a bit heavy. Just tie it in a loop, like so. And you get your string of onions. You know, so you get a few of them all dotted around your house. Nothing wrong with that, and they will darken off with age, and you can kind of just go to them and spin it and see if there's anything that looks a bit suspect. You just use them up first. Obviously when you're stringing, if you're seeing it look a bit suspect, just chop and freeze them or use them. So that's all I do with the onions. So next up will be probably from the allotment, just harvesting broccoli really, but it's that time of year now where, you know, it's just pretty much harvesting and trying to clear up. So I've got a lot of clearing up to do. I can just do it in bits, I think, because otherwise you start looking at things and you make work for yourself. You think, oh, I'll do that and I'll do that, and it's time to wind it down now. You know, but you know, if you want to, you still grow things. You've got big enough polytunnel, and you know, there's things you want to grow through the winter. But for me, this winter, it's I need to start thinking. Obviously, like in previous video, I said, you know, health issues. I need to start thinking about how I can manage it a little bit better. You know, because yeah, I'd love to be out here all day long, every day doing stuff, but I just can't. So that's just the new way of life for me. But so thanks for watching. Take care. The jackdaw's just been down nicking some bread and spotted me. So I'll see you next time. See you now. Bye bye.